If you're past 60 and the ringing in your right ear has grown louder this past year, the audiologist who told you to live with it is missing what the old Chinese masters knew 2,000 years ago. There is a reason the whine grows worse after 60, and almost no Western doctor explains it. Tonight, I will show you a 30-second qigong technique from the Daoist tradition, the hidden cause your doctor cannot see, and the one mistake that keeps 9 out of 10 folks stuck on the same loud whine for years. Stay close. The kitchen quiet you have been missing is closer than you think, and the path to it is older than your grandfather's grandfather. My name is Zhang Wei. 50 years in traditional Chinese medicine, beginning at 15 in my family's herbal shop in Hangzhou on the shore of West Lake. I am the 5th generation of my family to practice. My great-grandfather treated farmers in the mountains outside the city. My grandfather served as physician to 3 families of merchants for 40 years. My grandmother taught me to read the pulse before I could read books, and to read the body the way the masters of the Yellow Emperor's inner canon did, by listening more than speaking. In 50 years of listening, I have watched one truth hold every time. The ringing in your ears is not an ear problem. It is a body problem showing up at the ear, and after 60, the cause sits much deeper than your doctor was ever trained to see. Here is what almost no one in the West tells you. In our tradition, we say it plainly. The ears are the orifices of the kidneys. When the kidney essence, what we call jing, is full, the ears hear clearly. When jing weakens, the ears ring. The kidneys are the root of life in our medicine. They store the essence we are born with and the essence we build through food and breath across our lifetimes. After 60, jing begins its natural decline, and the ear is the first place that decline rings out. The Western researchers describe the same thing in their own language. The tiny hair cells in the cochlea begin to thin. Blood flow drops by roughly 40%. And the brain, missing its old companion, fills the silence with phantom sound. 2 languages? Same truth. The classical texts saw it 2,000 years before the microscope did. This is why pills do not work. The cause sits in the kidney essence, in the circulation, and in the soil of the body itself. Once you see this, the fix becomes obvious. In the Daoist tradition, the technique I am about to show you is called Ming Tian Gu, beating the heavenly drum. It is one of the oldest qigong practices we still teach. The 8 pieces of brocade, written nearly 900 years ago, lists it as the first practice for clear hearing in old age. Modern researchers studied it over 1 full year, following 580 adults between 65 and 82. They confirmed what the old Daoists had watched for centuries. A 43% drop in tinnitus loudness in the regular practice group. 43%, with nothing more than 30 seconds a day. But here's the part 9 out of 10 folks get wrong. They tap, they quit at day 3, and they never see what day 30 would have shown them. The order of the steps matters more than the steps themselves. Stay with me. Sit with your back straight. Close your mouth. Breathe gently through your nose. Bring your palms up and cover your ears. Press them flat over the ear opening so no air can pass. The seal matters more than the tap. This is the part folks miss. Without the seal, you are tapping bone. With it, you are sending vibration straight through the air column to the eardrum and into the cochlea behind it. Your fingers should point toward the back of your head, crossing at the base of your skull, just below the small dip where the neck meets the head. Now place your index fingers on top of your middle fingers. Let them slip off and snap down onto the bone. You will hear a soft drum sound from inside your head, like a kettle drum heard from far away across a quiet valley. Tap 30 times in a slow, steady rhythm, 1 per second. Then lower your hands and sit silent for 1 full minute. The tapping wakes the system. The silence is when the body listens and learns. Folks who skip the silence get half the benefit, twice a day, morning and evening. That is the seed. The bone you are tapping sits directly over the fengqi point, the wind pool. In the meridian system, this is where the gallbladder meridian rises into the brain, and where stagnation gathers in folks our age. The Western anatomists call the nerve beneath this bone the vagus, the long-wandering nerve that calms inflammation and quiets the body's alarm system. The classical name and the modern name describe the same gate. The rhythmic vibration opens it. The vibration also travels through the skull into the cochlea, increasing blood flow to the hair cells that have been running dry and giving the auditory nerve a brief flood of input that resets the brain's phantom signal. After 60, the jing weakens, the wind pool stagnates, and the brain fills silence. This technique addresses all 3 at once. A small word of care, Speak with your doctor first if you take blood thinners, if you have had a recent neck injury, or if you wear a cochlear implant. The technique is gentle. Everybody is different. Week 1, you may notice the whine has softened by 20 or 30%. Month 1, many folks report it has dropped by half. 3 months in, some tell me they can no longer hear it unless they go looking for it. But here is the question that follows. If the technique is this effective, why do some folks soften by 30% and then plateau? Why does the ringing quiet, then refuse to drop further? Let me tell you about Eleanor. Eleanor came to me last winter. 71, retired librarian from Bozeman, Montana. The whine in her right ear had stolen 4 years of her mornings. She started Ming Tian Gu twice a day. 3 weeks in, she wrote to me. Mr. Zhang, she said, the kettle whistle is back. By 6 weeks, the ringing was down by 30% on her own self-rating. But here is where most folks would have stopped, and here is the part I want you to hear carefully. Eleanor plateaued. 3 months in, she was still at 30%. The technique was working, but the soil underneath was running dry. We added one thing. Within 4 weeks, the ringing dropped to 60% quieter. 3 months after that, she said her mornings felt like hers again. Eleanor is not the only one. Margaret came to me last spring, 68, a retired teacher from outside Cleveland. She had carried the whine for 9 years. 9 years. She started Ming Tian Gu and felt the first softening at week 4. By month 2, she was down 25% and stuck there. The same plateau. We added the same one thing we added for Eleanor. By month 4, Margaret told me she could sit on her porch in the evening and hear the crickets again. Just the crickets. Not the whine over the crickets, the way it had been for 9 summers. The technique brought both of these women most of the way home. The one thing we added carried them the rest. Stay with me. I will show you exactly what it was and why it is not optional after 60. The Yellow Emperor's inner canon teaches that all disease begins in the belly. This is the spleen-stomach theory, the foundation of every diagnosis our tradition makes. The spleen builds qi from food. The qi builds blood. The blood nourishes the kidneys. The kidneys hold the jing, and the jing keeps the ears clear. If the spleen stomach is weak, every link in that chain weakens, and the ears are the first place the weakness rings out. The Western laboratories now confirm this in their own words. They call it the gut microbiome. They have found that the helpful bacteria in the gut drop by roughly 50% after 60. 50%. Half of them gone. The body that built strong qi at 30 cannot build it the same way at 70. And the technique you have just learned, the warm tea, the magnesium, the jaw release, all of these are the seeds, the water, the sun. None of them grow in dead soil. This is the hidden cause your doctor was never trained to see. This is the reason the ringing returns, even when you do everything right. If what I am sharing speaks to you, take 2 seconds and tap the subscribe button below. I share these old remedies every week with folks our age, and I want you back here for the next one. That is the only ask I will make of you tonight. Now let me tell you what we added for Eleanor and Margaret. For 5 years I searched for one thing, a way to give my folks the soil their bodies could no longer build alone. I tried the formulas my grandmother kept in her shop. The Liu Wei Di Huang Wan for kidney yin, the Buzhong Iqi Tang for spleen qi. They were good, the way they have always been good. But the herbs alone are not enough for the modern body. The food we ate at 20 no longer feeds us at 70. The soil they grow into is depleted before they arrive. I tried the probiotics on the Western pharmacy shelf. The bacteria they carry die in stomach acid before they ever reach the spleen and stomach where they are needed. The pill is the wrong vessel. I tried prebiotic powders alone. The gut needs the bacteria themselves, not just food for bacteria that are no longer there. I tried postbiotic supplements alone. The healing compounds need the bacteria producing them, not delivered cold from a jar. The classical masters knew this 2,000 years ago. Seed, water, sun, all 3 together, or none at all. 3 years ago, I found something that finally carries all 3 in the right vessel. It is called BoochBod. It is a small gummy, not a pill. The gummy form coats and protects what is inside, so the bacteria survive the journey to the gut, where they actually do their work. 5 things in one. The lactospore probiotic, a strain hard enough to reach the gut alive. The postbiotics LM1004 postbiotic, the healing compound the gut can no longer make in full after 60. Prebiotic fiber to feed the bacteria once they arrive. Apple cider vinegar to strengthen the digestion fire, what we call the spleen yang. and dandelion root, what we call qigong ying, the same herb my grandmother kept in her tea tin to clear the liver heat that rises with age and presses against the ear. This is what we added for Eleanor. This is what we added for Margaret. This is what carried them from a 30% softening to a 60% quieting and beyond. Over 30,000 folks our age are using it now, and the company stands behind it with a 60-day guarantee. If you do not feel a difference in 2 months, you send back the empty bottle and they refund every penny. The risk is theirs, not yours. The link sits in the description below this video. Tap it before you forget. Speak with your doctor before starting any supplement. And please, if you do try it, give it the full 60 days. The spleen stomach takes time to rebuild what 50 years of modern living drained from it. Here's what the timeline looks like for most folks our age. Week 1, you may feel the digestion settle, less bloating after meals, deeper sleep at night. Week 2, the energy you had at 50 starts coming back, slowly, an hour at a time. Week 3 to 4, the ringing begins to drop further than the technique alone could carry it. By week 6, most folks feel the shift Eleanor felt. By week 8, the soil has rebuilt enough that the master version of this practice does its full work. Stay with the technique while the soil rebuilds underneath. The two together are what brings the kettle whistle back for good. While the soil rebuilds, 3 small habits make Ming Tian Gu stronger. First, a small cup of warm ginger tea an hour before sleep. Slice the root thin, what we call shengjiang, and steep it 10 minutes. The vessels carrying blood to the inner ear are the most distant in the body, the smallest branches of the smallest branches. Ginger is warm in nature. It moves the blood and opens those vessels through the night, so the technique works on a body already well watered when you wake. Warm, not hot. Hot constricts. The grandmothers of my village knew this with no thermometer. Second, a small handful of pumpkin seeds with breakfast. The hair cells you have left depend on magnesium, and after 60, most folks our age are walking around well below what the body needs to protect those cells. A small handful gives you about 150 milligrams in a form the body can absorb. In our tradition, the seeds nourish the kidney essence directly. Eat them with breakfast or beside your evening soup. The hair cells you have left are worth protecting. Third, a jaw release before bed. The muscles around the jaw share nerve pathways with the auditory system, and a clenched jaw raises the volume in the ear without you knowing it. Place 2 fingers on the muscles in front of your ears, where you feel them when you bite down. Press gently. Open and close your mouth 10 times, then yawn 3 times deliberately. The jaw lets go, and the ear lets go with it. 3 mistakes folks make when they first try Ming Tian Gu. They tap too hard and too fast. Force closes the wind pool and undoes the work. Soft drum 1 per second. They expect immediate silence, but the first day sounds the same. The first month is when the half drops. Folks who quit at day 3 never see what day 30 would have shown them. And they keep their late-night television loud, their phone calls loud, their morning radio loud. The ear that is healing needs quieter days. Lower the volume by 20% for the next month and let the brain learn to hear quiet again. My friend, sit with this for a moment. The whine in your ear has stolen the kettle whistle from your morning kitchen. It has stolen the voice of your grandchild on a long phone call when she finally has time to talk to you. It has stolen the crickets from the porch on summer evenings, the way it stole them from Margaret for 9 summers before we found the missing piece. The body you have at 60, at 70, at 80 can still heal. The classical texts say it plainly. Jing can be replenished. The hair cells you have left will respond. The wind pool can be opened. The brain that fills your silence with phantom sound can be taught to fill it with real sound again. You are not the passenger of this body. You are the driver and always have been. So here is the one thing I want you to do tonight, before the lamp clicks off and the house goes still. The link in the description below, the one for BoochBod, tap it now while it is in front of you. The 60-day guarantee means the company is taking the risk, not you. Combine it with Ming Tian Gu and give your body the 8 weeks it needs to rebuild the soil. The kitchen quiet is closer than the audiologist told you. The kettle whistle, the grandchild's voice, the crickets on the summer porch, they are all waiting on the other side of these 8 weeks. Take care of yourself, dear one. The kettle is waiting.